Kia ora whānau. How's it going? Hey, welcome back to Kaitiaki Mara Kai. I'm up on the papakainga at the moment, and I just firstly want to say thank you to all those that have done donations or gifts to this project. We have a goal here in Kaikwe and on our papakainga to, over the next 2 to 5 years, plant 600 backyard gardens in our farming community. As you'll know, and experiencing, inflation is hitting our food supply chain, and there are issues in regards to logistics of food supply as well. Just a second. Rabbit. Logistics is affecting that food supply. So food security, water security, and housing are a big issue for us in our current climate. So one of the issues that we are wanting to do is be a solution to that problem. And here in Kaikwe and the north and on our papakainga, we used to be the people that lived off the land, and so we're now going back to that. I've got a wānanga coming up, a Pauamarangi wānanga down in Tamaki Makaurau. Next weekend we're going out to Papatūmaka Kōkiri Marae with Via Val and Lionel and their team, just to have a look at how they go about what they've been doing. They've been doing Mara Kai for some good 30 odd years and servicing Māngere in South Auckland with their kumara patches and their vegetable gardens, and I've been really inspired by their mahi and wanting to say, hey, let's do that up here up north. So yeah, I just want a big shout out to those who've gifted. If you're wanting or thinking about finding ways of supporting us, you can either pop in and see us up in Kaikwe, or I've got a account down below in the comment section where you can put your gift in or a donation towards this project. Just so that those who have been, just showing what we're doing today, we've been working on getting our gardens prepared, and so I'm back on the papakainga, and I've got some resources here. Last week I was in here prepping the soil, so at the back here behind me I've put kumara in there already, so I'm just going to put some topsoil on there just to build it up, and so I'm going to work in there today, and we're also going to work on that one. So I dug that up, getting ready, and so it helps the folk. We've got some compost over here, got some compost for the strawberries, and some lime, need to add some lime in, and also just nosy what we're going to do today. So going to work on this mara here in our strawberry mara. We've got a new row in here, so I've just left this to run over winter, and so we're now actually starting to get a bed. I pulled some of these up and put them back at the whare. So I'm just going to add some strawberry mix, some lime, and some fertiliser to the strawberry patch. The idea being is I want to grow that to be self-sustainable, and the rest of it I'm going to plant out with this stuff. So we've got some peru that was left over from last year, and you would have seen that back at the whare. I'm trying some raised beds using resource materials. I've also got some potatoes, and I've also bought some seed potatoes, different variations to it. So we've got rua, waiporoporo, and I'm also going to try out some asparagus this year, which I'll probably actually plant alongside with the strawberries. So thanks to those that have given us some gifts and koha to help us. We can't actually do all this on ourselves, so it is a tribe working together. So what one of the things that I decided to do this year, and I've already spoken just a little bit about it, is I had greens. I was growing green vegetables on both locations, here on the whenua in regards to my big list garden, and then back at the whare in the backyard in Kaikwe. That became too much to manage for myself and all the other things that we're doing. So you would have seen, if you watched some of the Kaitiaki Mara Kai segments that I put up end of last year, when we had planted our kumara in these patches here, they actually came away really well, and the potatoes. So I actually didn't have to do much work on it. So, and again, this has just come by trial and error. I'm going to have the majority of all the green vegetables growing back at the back at the home in our backyard, and out here on the kainga, we're going to do the potatoes, peru, the rest of them, and the kumara in here, because they don't need as much work. They just need watering and so forth. And the sister-in-laws or my boys' aunties, they like the tomatoes, so I'm going to reuse this here at this trellis thing I'm going to set up, and we're going to put some tomatoes in there. And so last year you would have noted that in that garden there, that Māra there, we let it sit for a year, 1 in 7 years, just let the land regenerate and rest. So we're now going to do it to this one here, and I'll add in lime, I'll add in some materials in regards to compost, and then we'll plant our potatoes in there as well. So this is going to be our resting garden this year. And so what Darwin's doing, she's got a rabbit here, and so the hay and the straw that she has there, we just let it lie on top, and it just breaks down and regenerates the soil. So yeah, that's where we're at. Hey, I really appreciate your fellow support. We're ramping up this year. I did a site visit. What day was that? Wednesday. We're going to do another dig for someone in Kaikui and help them out. That's going to be a bit of a bigger one. So that'll be on a Wednesday, one of the Wednesdays that's coming up. And we've got 3 other inquiries around having a backyard garden. So we are working at it. We're not overstressed about wanting to do it fast. It's just about working and building relationships with whānau in the community, and just saying, hey, how can we help you out in regards to your own food security. One of our whānau members is ex-gardener. He retired last year, and so we're talking with him in regards to seedlings and the process around that. So in time you might start seeing other activities that happen around the garden itself in regards to both like a funnel effect, preparation of soil, preparing of the seedlings, germination, and all those types of things to help. Next week I'll be doing some interviewing Val and Lionel in relationship to what they've been doing, and just get some jungle tips from them in relationship to how they go about their own work. They've got a massive work, and so tune into that next week. You'll be amazed at what they're doing. So anyway, a big shout out to whānau for the help, and for the donations to enable us to do this. It's only little things, but it all helps in our mahi. So yeah, put some more soil in the back there. We're going to plant it in here, tidy our strawberries up and give them some nutrients, so they're coming along quite well. Planting some asparagus in there, and then we'll put some potatoes over there as well. So that's our task for today and tomorrow. So we're out here for a couple of days. So I'll just come and join us and watch us as we go along. Okay, cool. Kia ora whānau, welcome back. This is rewa here, part of the Kaitiaki Mara Kai backyard gardens, and we're out on the Papakainga. So you would have just seen me in time lapse, just looking at pulling out some weeds from our strawberries. I put some fertiliser down, and then I put down I had some leftover compost from the strawberries we took home, and then I put some further compost on top, watered it, and then tomorrow I'll get some pea straw and I'll just lay it on top of what I've just completed there in regards to the strawberries, and that'll hopefully stop. I'm already starting to see white flowers coming through where the strawberries will be, so the pea straw will just stop the particularly on dirt and dirting the strawberries. And then like I did last year, you would have seen us if you're watching us, we had some covering, and this time because we now have 3 rows of strawberries, and you would have seen some of the shoots put some of the new shoots growing on the side, so I just dug them up and put them back into the centre. So effectively we've now, from the amount that I bought last year, we've doubled our crop, just about, I think about 2 short from, I think I planted 6, 7, maybe 8 plants last year, and I've able to plant 7 over at home in a raised punnet, and we've now got a row in the centre of the ones that before we didn't. So that's pretty cool. We've doubled our harvest out of that, and we'll just get more. And then at the back end of the time lapse, I watered it down just to allow the fertiliser to break down and do what it needs to do. And then the kumara patch and the potato patch, and I'll just water this one that I've just done. I've put some lime on, and then I'll put some compost on just to build up the soil a bit, and then I'll do a time lapse of my potato and planting potatoes, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes from there, just to give you an idea of what we're doing. But as I've said before, I'm not a professional gardener. You know, I'm part of my time in the military. I've been thinking about and planning about this as a way of food security and sustainability, and just trying to feed our whānau and those around. And so I've got others who are professional gardeners, like our tomato man from last year and his family. We've got Tony Henderson from Zion Gardens, who's helping us in regards to, put some more lime in if you're seeing these things. You might add some more compost and just different layers of things. So I've got people around me that can do that. And so if anyone can do it, if I can do it, anyone can really do it. So we've got 2 options, as I've shown before. Here on the Kainga, we've got heavy clay soil, and so we're having to add in compost and straw, grass clippings, cardboard, as you would have seen if you go back and have a look at the series that we've done so far. This is our 3rd season here, coming into our 3rd season on the Papakainga, since we've returned home, and now these beds are starting to take hold in relationship to the difference between the clay and the soil, and that's because we've just been adding things in along the way. So it's about preparing. Military would say 5 P's. Prior preparation prevents poor, maybe 6. Prior preparation prevents poor performance, I've got some videos in relationship to preparing the beds. You can have a look back at those, but here effectively we mounted these up, initially put cardboard down, food scraps, grass clippings, introduced compost, and then just built up on the top of it. What we're about to do now is I came in last week and dug this up, and so Found a few more potatoes, and the clay content has dropped because of what we've done last year. So I'm just now going to add in more compost, and then I'll dig that in, and I'll plant up potatoes here. Alright, let's go and do that. I'll wait. Hey, welcome back. Awesome. So that's the potatoes down, and so last year I planted the potatoes straight into the soil, and I actually had quite a bit of a gap between them, so we actually didn't get a lot last year in the potato area on this particular one. So, and then partly that was because we couldn't get in here enough, and I didn't build up the mounds with that. So this year we've dug up the soil a little bit more, so it's technically not a digless garden, because I just wanted to see what the soil was like, and I'm happy with it. I've added in new compost and then planted them probably about, well, you saw it, and so we've got hang on, I'll just go and grab what they are. So I've got three types of potato seeds, and these are just picked up from the shop. So I got them from, where did I get these ones from? I think it was Bunnings in Kaikoui. And so we got moi moi. This is in order as I planted them. Whataroa and Waipoporo. So I planted them in, and what I'll be doing when I see, in fact I might do it tomorrow, I'll get another layer of compost and put it on top, and then when I start seeing the shoots come through, the tupu come through, I'll then start mounding them up so that potatoes grow in the mound rather than just in the soil. I think that's what I didn't do last time. And then over on the kumara side, the little tupu is starting to shoot through, so I've just put clumps around where those are, and I'll just keep building those as they shoot up. As the tupu starts to come up, I'll just put more clumps around it. So the intent will be to have a whole stretch of potatoes and kumara planted. And so now I'm going back to our lead garden that we left to lie last year, and we will plant some piru in there. But I better let my sister-in-law know that we're planting, so she doesn't just keep chopping on other stuff on top of it. Okay, yeah, so I'll just shift around, and you can watch us do that. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. Again, if you don't have space, start thinking creatively. How might you use milk bottles? How might you use other containers that you might use as like little planters that you can put things into? If you've got a smaller space, even if you've got a bedroom that you're not using, why don't you turn that into a bit of a kind of like a greenhouse? The only issue we'll need is somehow we can get some sun in there, or you take your plants out when it's a sunny day like it is today. But yeah, utilise if you've got small spaces. And I'm thinking about whānau that lives in Tamaki, where you don't have the blessings of what we do here with whenua to be able to do stuff. Okay, I'll just move around and we'll plant off some more areas. But from what we've done at this end of the Māra, we've tidied up the strawberries, put some fertiliser in, put some compost down, and that's ready for the pea straw to lay on top. We've planted 3 types of potato seeds, and we'll just mound them up, and we've also just added some more compost into our kumara Māra. So that's what we're doing today and have done so far. So I'll now plant down the other end. Okay, see you soon. Hey, kia ora whānau. How's it going? Hey, just been digging up that Māra that we left it lie last year. So I follow a Hebrew tradition, and that's they call it like a Sabbath, seasonal Sabbath in regards to harvesting and soil and all that type of stuff. So what I've done here is, remember at the beginning of the year I talked about the first garden that we planted last year. We're going to let sit for a year and let it rest, and we're just going to feed stuff back into it. So here is an example of what that looked like. Here's that soil. Look at that. Trying to get a shot. And look at that. There's a worm in there. You know, the good worms that eat up and poop. Now this Māra, when I started, was a digless Māra where we had to add compost in, and so over a year and a half now, and particularly last year, all we're doing is adding compost in, food waste, lawn clippings, and as you can see there, we've got straw from the rabbit pen, and over time we've now got this nice rich soil, and looks like poop but it's yeah, smells lovely. Parts of it's all dark. In fact, I'll come and have a look at it, and I'll show you what we've done. Digging it up and what it looks like. So here we go. Here is that lovely soil that I mentioned. You can see worms in it. It's breaking like all the worms. There's some more worms there. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's what you're wanting. So the reason for letting it sit for a year is to give it rest. The Hebrew tradition and is the Sabbath. We give things lots of sevens, so every time a 7 pops up, it's a rest time, or something that is from a biblical numbers of 7s are complete or whole numbers. So like God's given us a day a week to have a Sabbath, have a rest from our labour. 1 in 7 years you give your soil a rest, and it's a type of Kaitiaki where we look after the whenua and put things back into it instead of just exploiting it. I don't know about environmentalism in the sense of global warming, because there are things in my mind like the law of thermodynamics tells me that as everything is deteriorating, it's not actually getting better, and so we have to work at looking after things like we do here with the garden. So this is my way, or our way, of being Kaitiaki and putting things back into the song. And if everyone actually did something like this, whether it's a garden, whether it's beekeeping, whether it's something in the bush, something in your home, where you give things a rest from the normal rhythms that you do. Maybe don't drive one day a week or something like that, or do things like what we're doing here on our Mara Kai. Just putting back into it. Anyway, that was just to have a look at the soil, and I'm really stoked with this, even though these are technically a digless garden. Because I'm now starting to get depth, I'm aerating the soil as well, letting air go through it, putting sheep pellets on, which is kind of like a fertilizer as well. I'll be putting another layer of compost on here. I'm going to plant whatever we've got left over there, piru, potatoes. I'll plant that in here. And in fact I might do a row of asparagus on the far side there, and the rest of the potatoes, and whatever I've got left over there. But you'll see me doing that. Then I'll just tidy up the back one, ready for planting as well. Anyway, I just wanted to show you the soil. We can all do our little bit, not just leave it to governments, because at the end of the day it's our responsibility in the patch that you're living in. If you see a problem, come up with a solution. Don't just keep moaning about someone else, blaming someone else. Fix it yourself. And if you can't fix it, put a team together and find a solution. One of the things I learned in the military, so you've got a complaint to go to the commander. If you're going to present something that's wrong, come up with 3 solutions so the commander can make a decision. Don't just present problems. We live in a world today where too much of us are just presenting problems and no solutions. Those who are actually going to survive going forward, whether it's in food security, water security, housing issues, are people that actually get out off their backsides, stop complaining and find solutions. And look for someone. If you can't find a solution, have a look around your community and your neighbourhood, see who's doing something, and if it touches your vision and your heart, join in with them. You've got Val and Lionel down at Papatūnuku Marae in Auckland. They're doing great work down here. You've got others over in Manwork. You've got people all around here up Northland who are all trying to do something that better off their community. So if you can't find a solution yourself, find someone who is, and partner with them and help them out, whether financially or time-wise or sweet equity. Need more doing instead of moaning. Okay, that's my rant.